So you think your English is pretty good, do ya? You've been running around telling everyone you're fluent? Well, hold on just a second. You word wizard, grammar master, language legend. Before you go putting fluent in English on your CV, let's put your English to the test. Because being fluent isn't just knowing vocabulary and passing grammar quizzes. It's about understanding the most important thing of all, jokes. And trust me, English humor can be tricky. So if you laugh at these jokes without needing to use Google Translation, congratulations. You're not just fluent, you're basically British. By the way, there will be some swearing and adult themes in this video, in the jokes. So if you're not interested in that, switch off this video now. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, time for the first joke. Let's check out this video.
Did you guys hear about that actress who got stabbed?
No, what happened?
Reese.
With a spoon?
No, with a knife.
Okay, so this one's all about misunderstanding. When the person says Reese and pauses, they're about to say the name of the actress, Reese Witherspoon. Hopefully you've seen her before in a movie or two. But the second person, I believe to be her father, jumps in before that and says Reese Witherspoon. But here's the twist. The punchline is actually with a knife. The joke works because the name Witherspoon sounds like it could be part of the sentence. So instead of the last name, it suddenly turns into a shocking explanation of how she got stabbed. This is what we call a pun or a play on words. A very important word for this video, a pun. British people love these kind of jokes because they twist the meaning in a surprising way. To get this joke, you need both knowledge of the celebrity's name, Reese Witherspoon, and the ability to catch the double meaning of Witherspoon versus with a spoon or with a knife. All right, time for joke number 2 from one of my favorite comedians in the UK, James Acaster.
I knew exactly what I wanted to be when I was a kid. When I grew up, I wanted to be an undercover cop. I didn't tell no one. Kept it secret. So when I grow up, become an undercover cop, first day on the job, already blown my cover. Went in my mouth off all around town as a child. So I was smart. Whenever an adult asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I thought long term, I said, drug dealer. Every time. They could grow up, become an undercover cop, infiltrate a gang of drug dealers. If any of them get suspicious, like, hey, you think James might be an undercover cop? The others would be like, no way! This is his lifelong dream! Don't you ever say that again.
So, did you get the joke? Hopefully you did. I love James Acaster. I think he's always pushing the boundaries of expectations and always exaggerating, which makes it hilarious. As a kid, he was describing what he wanted to be when he grew up, an undercover cop. But he was smart enough to keep it a secret because he knew when he grew up and he became an undercover cop and he was trying to infiltrate, right? Trying to go into the dark world of drugs and gangs, nobody would be suspicious of him. If he said he wanted to be a cop when he grew up, his cover would be blown. If your cover has been blown, it means your true identity has been discovered, and therefore you cannot continue doing the undercover job. So the fact that he was telling people when he was a child that he wanted to be a drug dealer is really funny because it's absurd, right? Nobody has ever said this, but it ties into his story, which makes it even funnier. This type of humor comes from ridiculous logic. No child would ever say drug dealer. This is classic James Acaster humor, so go check out one of his specials on Netflix. They're hilarious. Now, joke number 3. For this one, you need to have a bit of cultural understanding of the UK. So if you've never been to the UK before, if you don't know much about the UK, this might be a little bit tricky to understand the joke.
You got a problem, bro?
Yeah, I do actually.
So your issue is, obviously, if he wants a baby and you don't, obviously don't feel pressured into doing it.
Yeah.
Because he's not the one that's carrying it for 9 months. He's not the one that's going to be looking after it afterwards, breastfeeding, changing the nappies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
His freedom isn't the one that's going to be lost. It's going to be yours. So if you don't feel ready to have a baby right now, obviously you just need to talk to him and tell him that. Because hopefully he will understand, obviously, that you're not ready.
Yeah.
And just don't feel pressured to having a baby if you don't want one right now.
Okay.
Did that help your issue?
It did, thank you.
Okay, well, you have a good evening, okay?
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So this one isn't exactly hilarious. It's more of a sort of subtle type of humor. This clip is actually what you would call a skit, basically a short, funny story. Sometimes skits are also referred to as sketches. You might have seen this in the US, like SNL or something like that. Now, the humor here comes from a cultural stereotype in the UK. There's a group of people often called roadmen. Roadmen are kind of like gangsters, or at least they try to live this lifestyle. Some of them probably are gangsters. Other times they might just want to be gangsters, so they're wannabe roadmen. Who knows? But this is the stereotype. Normally, if a roadman says something like, "You got a problem, bro?" it's not because they're trying to help. It's usually meant to scare you or to sort of pick a fight. So in this skit, the joke is that the guy completely flips his character. At first, he sounds aggressive, but then he switches to a super nice, caring tone, as if he's genuinely concerned. The change in voice and tone catches people off guard, because it's the opposite of what you'd expect. That surprise, the switch from scary to kind, is what makes it funny. And part of the humor is that it's unlikely to happen in real life. So if you do meet a roadman while you're in the UK, run. Time for joke number 4. This is actually a clip from a very famous TV program or a comedy program called Mock the Week.
A lot of people say comedy is the new rock and roll. Well, if you want to know how many women I sleep with, this week alone, last week alone...
So here the joke is the play on the phrase, "this week alone." Now, normally when someone says, "this week alone," it means just this week. And it's usually followed by a big number. Like, "I ate 10 burgers alone this week." It's a way to show that something is extreme or impressive. If you want to know how many women I sleep with, this week alone, we expect a big, impressive number, like a rock star boasting. Instead of giving the number, he says, "last week alone," which emphasizes that he's always alone. He is basically never with any ladies. Let's watch the second part of the clip.
She said she thought I'd get the name of the Black Eyed Peas frontman wrong. I said, will I now?
Sometimes people say, "will I now?" to express doubt, disbelief, or sarcasm. It often means something like, "Oh really? You think so?" But the funny thing here is he's actually wrong, because the person's name who he's referring to is called Will I Am. So again, he's playing with the phrase and also with the person's name. And the fact that he's actually wrong makes it funny. You see, jokes like this are not just about words. They're about rhythm, culture, and how people really use English in everyday life. And if you can understand them, it means your English is becoming natural, not just something from a textbook. But I know a lot of you still watching feel nervous when it's actually time to speak. Maybe you can understand English, but when someone asks you a question in real life, you freeze. Or maybe you worry about your accent or whether people will really get you. That's where confidence matters. And this is exactly why I want to share with you something that I truly think can help you. It's called Parlo. What I love about Parlo is that it doesn't just give you lists of words. The lessons feel like real conversations. The kind that you'd have at work, with friends, or even when you're just joking around like we're doing in this video. Think about it. Imagine the moment you can join in on a joke in English, laugh with everyone else, and you feel like you belong. That's the kind of confidence that Parlo builds. You'll get smart feedback on your pronunciation practice with real life situations, and step by step, you'll sound clearer and more natural. And the best part? It actually feels fun, with quizzes, games, and challenges that make you want to keep going. So if you're serious about not just learning English, but actually living it, then I highly recommend you try Parlo. I'll leave a link below for you to check it out. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Okay, time to check out joke number 5, which is from a very, very famous comedian, Ricky Gervais.
In the event of the plane landing on water, your life jacket is equipped with a whistle. A fucking whistle. So the plane hits the water, smashes to bits. Everyone's dead except you by a miracle. You're bobbing around in the Atlantic Ocean. 4 degrees that water is, right? You've got about 15 minutes before hypothermia sets in, right? Or eaten by a shark, or you drown, and you're hoping they've dispatched air sea rescue, and you're going, "Oh my God, I'm bruised and broken. I'm going to die. I don't want to die. What happened now? I don't know what I'm doing." Hold on.
So Ricky Gervais' joke is funny here because it uses dark humour, which we love in the UK, contrast, and also misdirection. He describes a terrifying plane crash, people hitting the water, freezing temperatures, and panic. He says at one point, hypothermia sets in, which is a nice phrasal verb, and it means begin to take effect or start to take effect. Then he says you're bobbing around in the Atlantic, which is another phrasal verb that means you're floating around up and down in the waves helplessly. The audience imagine this awful situation, and then he mentions something absurd. Your life jacket has a whistle. The contrast between a hopeless situation and a small, useless object is what makes it funny. If you want to watch more of Ricky Gervais, I highly recommend that you watch The Office, the UK, the original version, or something a bit sadder but also really, really funny, Afterlife. Joke number 6, another stand-up comedian from the UK, but I've forgotten his name now. Let's check out the clip.
I've been up north, the most generous people you've ever met. And they got nothing up there. Nicest group of people you've ever met in your life. I was in Blackburn. Blackpool. Burnley? Bradford? I don't know. Somewhere beginning with shithole. I mean, no one's going up there for a city break, are they, you know? Happy anniversary, honey. Open the card. No, not Paris. Rotherham.
In England, there's a long-standing rivalry between the North and the South. Normally, the North is stereotyped as poorer, more industrial, tougher, but full of friendly and down-to-earth people. The South, especially London, is seen as wealthier, snobbier, and definitely less friendly. So when the comedian says they've got nothing up there, he's playing on that familiar stereotype. Northern people may not have money, but they've got warmth and kindness. So when he starts naming towns like Blackpool, Bradford, he's pretending to forget which northern town he was in. Because to a southerner, they all blend together. They're not important. No one cares about the north. Then comes the killer line, somewhere beginning with shithole. This punchline is rude and unexpected, which again makes everyone laugh. But it also nicely captures the southern snobbery towards the north. They're just all, up north it's all rubbish. It's all bad. All right, joke number 7. Are you ready for it?
Yesterday, a book just fell on my head. I only had myself to blame.
Wonder what kind of tea rich people buy.
Property.
Both jokes are based on double meaning. Words or sounds that can have 2 different meanings. Again, this is what you would call a pun. Yesterday, a book fell on my head. I only have my shelf to blame. The normal phrase is, I only have myself to blame. It's my fault. The punchline is that it replaces myself with my shelf. And the other one, I wonder what type of tea rich people buy. Proper tea. The setup makes you think about types of tea. Green tea, Earl Grey, whatever. But the punchline, proper tea, right? Real tea or like very good tea, sounds like property, like houses or flats and that kind of thing, which rich people normally do buy. Joke number 8 comes from Australia, so be ready for something a little bit naughty.
How do you turn on an alcoholic lady?
How?
Liquor.
It was right there in front of us. It was good.
Okay, so again, it's a pun. It's a bit of a dad joke as well. It's something that is only funny to old men, but it's so bad, it's good. Basically, he's playing on the pronunciation of liquor, right? Alcohol. Strong alcohol, liquor, by saying lick her, lick the lady. So it's a little bit cheeky, it's a little bit naughty, but what do you expect from Australia? Do you like dad jokes, or do you know any dad jokes? Write them in the comments below and I'll check them out. Okay, so that's everything for this video. Hopefully now you feel a bit more confident understanding British humor or British jokes, and you can go out there and watch a few comedians on YouTube, on Netflix, or maybe go to a show in real life. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and I'll see you next time.